Hi, I'm Colleen with Just Paint It. Today I'm going to show you how to paint a real simple snowman scene on watercolor paper. And then we're going to cut it out, form a little shade to set on top of a wine goblet from the dollar store, and we'll create our own little tea light lamp. Perfect for gift giving, maybe even for yourself. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is line up our template onto the watercolor paper and trace it, but don't cut it out yet. Okay, I have light blue on my plate, and I'm going to take a fairly damp brush. Notice I haven't cut out the template. I'm going to leave it right on there so we can go over the edges and get all the way to the edge with the paint. So I'm just kind of getting some water on there first. Pretty damp, okay? Then I take a little bit of the paint, and you can get right over the edge and just follow the curve of your template. Just all the way, semicircle fashion, back and forth. This is going to be your background. Using the same flat paintbrush that I used for the sky, I'm going to pick up a little bit of white and just kind of stroke on. These are kind of like clouds that are wispy. They're not really the big puff balls. Just to add a little texture to your background. Or not. Fill it in. It doesn't matter. The blue's going to peek through a little bit. One thing you want to remember is this, since this is going to wind up being a circle, you want to go all the way around with your whole painting. To make our snowman, it's real simple. It's 3 circles, of course. So you can either use these little foam pouncers, whatever they're called. You could also paint them in. This is quick and easy, so I'm going to show you this way on one of the snowmen, and then on probably the snow woman, I'll do just real simple circles so you can see. If you don't have to run out and buy these for your Pennywise present. These work just great. So we'll start with the bottom one, and I'm just going to get a good amount of white. If you don't get it right the first time, don't worry about it, okay? This is a stress-free paint project. Now, since this is the back, on here, this is going to be our center. I'm going to go just a little bit off center with our snowman, and I'm going to give it just a little twist. There it is, okay? And normally I would do the one right next to it, but I want to show you that with the brush. Then I'm going to take the medium one, pounce it in the paint, and go right on top. I'm doing this upside down, by the way, so for the camera. So hopefully it turns out, I hope it's looking right side up. If it doesn't, it's only paint. You can always paint over it. Okay. So there's Mr. Snowman. We're going to give his head a little bit more snow. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to take a smaller, it's called a flat brush. It's just a rectangular brush. I'm going to take a smaller one than the one that I used to base coat. Dip it in a little bit of water and just rinse it off with a paper towel and dip it right into my paint. Okay, no tricks here, no special technique. And I'm just going to do the same thing, a little bit of circle. I mean, if you want to get really particular, and I can get very particular, you could draw your circles using, you know, the cap of something as a template. You certainly could do that if you want. Okay, so the same blue that we used for the background, only not watered down this time. I just do a trunk, and then I started doing little Ys. Do you see how each branch that comes off is almost like a little Y where it splits? Here, watch, I'll show you. I'll do another one right over here. Same type of brush, flat brush, rectangular brush. I'm just going to come up from the top of the snowdrift. Can you see? Bring it all the way up. As wide or as thin as you want, doesn't matter. And then we're going to kind of split it as it gets towards the top, just to give it a little interest. And then you can start making your branches. I have never drawn a tree upside down, so this is a first for me. And then I just create my little Ys, which are just where the little branches spread off. Okay, no special strokes. Fill it in, okay? If you have a few little bobbles, don't worry about it. Seriously, we can do something. We can put a bird. We can do all kinds of things. Okay. I put just a little red cap on Mama's snow person. I guess she's not a snowman. Snow person with a little scarf. Blue, the same blue that we used in the background. And a little red cap on little boy who's off doing who knows what over in the woods. So that's about it. I did a couple of little red cardinals in the trees just to kind of tie in with Mama's red scarf. And when you're working this small, it is so simple, you don't even need that much detail. Let me show you real quickly how to do a simple red cardinal, which goes really well with winter scenes, I think. I'm doing this upside down again. So you do one larger circle or blob, want to call it, and one tiny little circle, and then just a little tail feather. That's all you need. You are going to need to form it into a lampshade. Okay, so because the watercolor paper is somewhat stiff, I found what helps is if you go on the back side with your paintbrush and just plain water, get it moist, and then roll it into shape and hold it there just with paper clips, clothespins, whatever you have, and just let it dry into shape. And it's gonna help when you use the glue. It's gonna help it hold a lot easier. So I'm just gonna match the edges, clip it, and then let it dry. The pattern I've provided you works for nearly any type of wine glass. You might have to, when you first make your template, wrap it around whatever goblet you have to make sure that it fits around, because I've got one that is, I don't know my wine, so this one is a little wider here, and then this one is wider at the top.